from Kern Government Television. Welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxtun Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy. And our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Good morning and welcome to the Tuesday, May 21st, 2024 regular meeting of the Kern County Board of Supervisors. Board to reconvene. The first item is roll call.
Supervisor Peters.
Here.
Supervisor Scribner. Supervisor Flores.
Here.
Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez. Here.
Next item is the flag salute. It is going to be led this morning by Jamie Pacheco, who is the Veterans Success Center Coordinator for Cal State University Bakersfield. She is not a veteran, but she is a champion for veterans who continue their paths to success through learning. I'd like to congratulate her on graduating over the weekend with her Master's of Science in Educational Counseling. She is the wife and mother of four, is a true inspiration to the veteran community at CSUB as she sets the standard by succeeding in completing her educational goals all while helping countless veterans and their dependents receive the guidance they deserve. Welcome. Please remain standing at the conclusion of the flag salute for a moment of prayer, silence, or meditation, whichever you prefer. Thank you.
Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you for being with us this morning, Jamie, and thank you for what you do. Appreciate it. Next is the pet of the week, so I'll ask Nick Cullen, our Director of Animal Services, to come out and join us. He's got two today, I believe. You have Blackie and Whitey. Is that right?
No. This is Francesca and Colin, pets, plural, pets of the week. The reason why we chose Francesca and Colin, don't ask me why they're named that. It's a long story, but it's an example of two kittens that came to us. It's kitten season. If you're not aware of that, you can come to our cat room and you'll clearly see it's kitten season. We have so many kittens that need foster care. So Francesca and Colin are 4 weeks old. They can't be adopted until they're about 8 weeks old, so they need a foster parent. We have so many kittens in need of foster right now. Our community can help by going to our website, kerncountyanimalservices.org. How to help is the link you go to. Sign up to be a foster parent to foster kittens, just like fostering Colin and Francesca, or Blackie and Whitey, like you said.
Okay, so we'll find them a forever home after they're fostered for 4 weeks.
Correct.
Gotcha. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Okay, the next item is the consent agenda. All items with this listed with a CA or a C above the item number considered to be routine and non-controversial by county staff. We can act on those all in one motion. The C represents the consent agenda for the Kern Sanitation Authority and or the Ford City Taft Heights Sanitation District or the IHSS Public Authority. Consent agenda items will be considered first. We can adopt those all in one motion. If there's anyone here that would like to make a comment, only a board member can remove those for separate consideration, but we invite your questions or your comments about any item on the consent agenda. Let me tell you what those are. For the Board of Supervisors, which we're acting on first, the consent agenda starts on page 2. It consists of items 3, 6, and 7. On page 3, items 10 through 13. Page 4, items 14 through 21. On to page 5, items 22 through 29. Page 6, items 30 through 36. Page 7, items 37 through 44. Page 8, items 45 through 52. And page 9, items 53 through 58. Is there anyone here that would like to make a comment on any of those consent agenda items which are for the Board of Supervisors consent agenda? Seeing none, I'll return to the board and ask for a motion on the consent agenda and to adjourn as the Board of Supervisors and reconvene as the In-Home Supportive Services Public Authority.
So moved.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved, 4 ayes, 1 absent. Supervisor Scrivener.
Thank you. We're now sitting as the In-Home Supportive Services Public Authority, and we have one item on that agenda. It's item 1 on page 2. It's a proposed memorandum of understanding with United Domestic Workers of America for in-home supportive services providers. Turn that over to Elsa Martinez.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. As you stated, this is a request to approve the proposed Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, with United Domestic Workers of America, also known as UDW. UDW is a bargaining agent for the providers of in-home supported services in Kern County. This state program connects qualified in-home care workers with older adults and individuals with disabilities. The services provided include non-medical personal care like bathing, feeding, dressing, and domestic services like shopping, cooking, and housework. So these individuals remain safe in their own homes. Kern County and UDW have been bargaining for a successor MOU over the last 6 years. I want to thank UDW State President for his leadership and recognition that we have the same goal of providing for the individuals, taking care of some of the most vulnerable members of our community. The proposed MOU is for 3-year term, and upon approval by the state, IHSS workers will receive a wage increase of 60 cents effective July 1st, 2024, as well as 2 additional increases of 20 cents each effective July 1st, 2025, and July 1st, 2026. This concludes my prepared remarks, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing none, I'll open it up to, is there anyone here that would like to make a comment on this item, which is item 1? Seeing none, I'll return to the board and ask for a motion to approve item 1 and adjourn as the In-Home Supportive Services Public Authority and reconvene as the Board of Supervisors.
Motion to approve and reconvene.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved, 4 ayes, 1 absent. Supervisor Scrivener.
Thank you. We're now sitting as the Kern County Board of Supervisors again, and we're on to item 2 on page 2, which is a resolution honoring Rosemary San Miguel, Department of Human Services, upon her retirement with 33 years of dedicated service to the County of Kern, and this will be presented by Supervisor Perez.
Thank you, Chairman. Motion on proclamation, resolution,
Please cast your votes.
Second.
but I will also proclaim.
The motion is approved, 4 ayes, 1 absent. Supervisor Scrivener.
Excuse me. Honorable Chairman and colleagues, I am so pleased to make this presentation before you today to honor a truly remarkable public servant and individual who has spent the last 33 years devoting her life's energy to the Kern County Department of Human Services and the countless children of Kern County. The beginning of Ms. San Miguel's journey with Kern County begins in 1990. She was hired on as a food service worker at the Jameson's Children's Center. On August 13, 1994, Ms. San Miguel was made a permanent food service worker 1 and would serve in that role for the next decade, and the rest is history. In 2004, Rosemary was promoted to be cook 1, and of course would later work her way through the ranks up to become a senior cook, where she would serve until her now much-earned retirement. It should be noted that Rosemary San Miguel spent the entirety of her career servicing the children of the Jameson Center. It's where our foster kids lived. It was here that she would dedicate her career to making the center a better, warm, and loving place, straight from the heart of it, the kitchen. Of course, the children and staff always look forward to the cooking that came out of Miss San Miguel's kitchen. But more important than the food, it was the warmth and the love that Rosemary brought with her to the center each and every day that brought smiles to countless children and county family. Another feat that must not go unrecognized is that while Rosemary San Miguel was at the Jameson Center, the kitchen's health inspection never dropped below an A, unlike my transcripts. Oh, work was always so much better with Rosemary in attendance. Her coworkers note that she always kept excellent and healthy relationships with all with whom she worked. And it is her dedication, her passion, and hard work that has earned her the deep, deep respect of all who have come to know her. Today we celebrate 33 years that Rosemary San Miguel, senior cook at the Jameson Children's Center, dedicated to supporting the children that she served and the lives that she touched. Today, Kern County thanks you for what you do, and that we are so blessed to have had you as part of the county family, of which you will always remain. It is my honor to present this resolution to you and wish you a very happy and much-deserved retirement. Present this resolution to you, thank you for the many ways in which you have shown love.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor Perez. Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Lita Morello, your Director of Human Services. I just want to congratulate Rosemary for the amazing service. 33 years is a long time. As most of you know, I used to be over to Aging and Adult Services. We ran the senior nutrition program, and I was trying to think back if we had a cook in that program that actually made it past 20, let alone 33 years. And then I did some quick math in terms of the number of meals she probably served, which is probably over 500,000 meals served over that time period, let alone the 200,000 plus kids she probably saw. Now, although that's not quite McDonald's or a billion people served meals, but that's still quite a bit, 33 years. And so I wanted to congratulate Rosemary for a job well done. I'm going to turn it over to Tim Stevens, who's their program manager over the Jameson Children's Center.
Thank you, Lito. Good morning, Chairman Couch and members of the board. I'm Tim Stevens. I'm the program director at the Jameson Children's Center. I'm just going to say a few words about Rosemary. Rosemary, I've had the pleasure of knowing you since July of 21 when I took over and was moved over to the Children's Center. Since that time, the meals that you provided in compliance with the National Lunch Program, but yet you were able to infuse your own creativity and you know, spice those things up. One of your coworkers indicated that they would call you the Spice Girl.
We had our own.
So that you could put anything into that, including just making plain mac and cheese something special. Board members, the Jameson Center is the tip of the spear for children coming into foster care. And one of the big things in our community, in any community where you have children who have suffered abuse and neglect, is food insecurity. Mm-hmm. And when you talk about food insecurity and manipulation and tie that to abuse and neglect, then come into Rosemary's Kitchen and Cafeteria and know that you're going to be fed well, and you can have as much as you want. There's no limit to seconds or thirds. The average stay at Jameson's 4.3 days. We're not going to put somebody into, you know, obesity in 4 days, but we want them to know that they can eat and they can be secure and they know that's there. And that is Rosemary's passion, making sure that those kids know that they have enough food to eat and they don't have to hoard it, they don't have to sneak it back to their rooms, they can always have something. That's been a big message for 33 years. One of her co-workers says, I've known Rosemary for 24 years. She's been kind, helpful, compassionate about her job and doing that. Just watching her for all these years has shown me and the rest of our co-workers to do the same. She always puts her job first. She makes sure our kids have a nutritional meal. She hardly ever misses a day. She says that's why you probably have thousands of hours of comp time, so. Okay. Rosemary, through your hard work and dedication, you've left an indelible mark on our county, shaping the experiences and memories of every child who's had pleasure of dining at our tables. Your culinary creations will be remembered long after your retirement, and it's a testament of your talent and expertise. And I'm just honored to have worked with you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm deeply honored to receive this award, which I consider to be a great recognition of my hard work and dedication. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rosemary. Congratulations. That takes us to item 4, which proclaims May 2024 as Water Conservation Month in Kern County, and this will be presented by Supervisor Peters.
Thank you, Chairman. I'll make that motion to approve.
Second?
Discuss your votes.
The motion is approved, 4 ayes, 1 absent. Supervisor Scribner.
Good morning, Chairman Couch and honorable board members. I'm joined this morning by the Water Association of Kern County, and what was your name again? Shannon Alderman. I'm sorry. Water Association of Kern County was started in 1955, and ever since, every summer they have a drive to get out awareness about water conservation, wasting water, and I believe that the effort this year is entitled "Don't Be That Guy," which I can tell you is already effective because I remember that I get to go home and fix some sprinklers in my house, so I won't be that guy after the meeting today. But it's my honor to share on behalf of the board this proclamation that reads, "The Board of Supervisors of the County of Kern, State of California, has officially proclaimed May 2024 as Water Conservation Month in Kern County, and this recognition has been entered into the official board minutes and signed by our honorable chairman, David Couch."
Thank you, Chairman and members of the board. My name is Jenny Holterman. I am the Executive Director of the Water Association of Kern County, and I want to thank the Board of Supervisors for this acknowledgement of water conservation for Kern County. Water is a vital life component to Kern County in every aspect of our day, from the agriculture orchards and vineyards to the oil fields to the residents to the Kern River flowing through the heart of Bakersfield. Without water, we would not be the productive and prolific county that we are. The Water Association of Kern County is a water nonprofit with focus on education and outreach to our community. Our members are made up of agriculture businesses, landowners, oil industries, water districts, municipalities, and interested businesses. Every summer, we organize a water awareness and conservation campaign named "Don't Be That Guy." The Water Association connects local purveyors together to engage in a county-wide water conservation campaign, combining efforts and resources to maximize the impact for our county. May has been marked as Water Conservation Month by our statewide agencies, and thank you to the Board of Supervisors. As May is typically the start to summer, we like to remind residents leading into summer months to don't be that guy wasting water and be aware of your water usage. May kickstarts our water awareness and conservation campaign that will include advertising, marketing, and social media promotions. Annually, we participate in a combination of radio ads, TV segments, billboards, internet promotions, and more to raise awareness of your water usage. The culmination of Don't Be That Guy campaign will be Water Day at the Kern County Fair on September 26th. So throughout the summer and all year round, we urge our community to be aware of their water usage and the vital necessity it supplies to our industries. We appreciate your support of the Water Association of Kern County and the community in which you represent. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. Next item is item 5 under public requests. It is a request of Jeremy Tobias, Chief Executive Officer, Community Action Partnership of Kern, to address the board and provide a brief presentation in recognition and celebration of the 4-year anniversary of the M Street Navigation Center. Is Jeremy here this morning?
I think his designee is.
You are not Jeremy, but you will do.
I am not Jeremy, but I will present. So my name is Lori Huey. That's Laurie, last name Hughey, and I am the Program Administrator of the M Street Navigation Center.
Welcome.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Board of Supervisors and the County Administrative Office for choosing CAPK to operate the M Street Navigation Center. It was your vision to make a change in the community, and we are proud to bring that vision to fruition. A special thank you to Amanda Ruiz for her continued support of M Street. As of May 14, 2024, we have been in operation for 4 years, and we look forward to many more years of helping people, changing lives. We would like to present this video of one of our many successes at M Street, and so it's Amber's video, and we actually have Amber here with us. Can we play the video? I don't think anybody says, oh, I want to be homeless when I grow up. You know, it's just circumstances that happens, and you know, everybody's different. So my name is Lori Huey, and I am the Program Administrator for the M Street Navigation Center.
I started running away from home when I was 15. I ended up hitchhiking to LA and became a stripper in the clubs out there. Ended up all the way in Florida, came home pregnant with my first son. My name is Amber Fisher, and this is Butterball.
The first time when she came, she didn't stay very long, maybe a couple months, but I think she was on a different path, and she just wasn't ready.
I had a really bad problem with authority, you know, so I was looking for a handout kind of still, you know, and I was still in my addiction, so, but this was the 4th time being there, and it wasn't until this time that I started to see.
She kind of like embraced, you know, like the system and did what she was supposed to do.
It wasn't until I started making accomplishments in my life that I really started giving credit where credit was due to that place.
She completed the program, and then we just saw this whole new person, you know, blossoming.
I had already achieved some accomplishments, you know, reached some goals there, like graduating the higher ed program, and had my resumes made and had some interviews already done, and I ended up getting the patient transport job. I love it. I love it so much. I get to meet all kinds of new people every day and pray with people, and I'm doing something that makes a difference.
Yes, we wanted to make sure that this was going to be a successful placement because she's such an awesome, just a beautiful person with a beautiful soul.
Now here I am sitting in the same place that my parents promised they would never rent back to me. But because of the change that they've seen, just since I've went to M Street and all the accomplishments that that place helped me achieve, I sit here today in the same place. And I just thank M Street, because if it weren't for that place, I really needed that place.
Are there any questions? This is Amber.
I just want to thank everyone that has a part in putting M Street together, because I don't know what I would have done without that place. And thank you.
Thank you. Lori, you may, hang on one second. I just want to thank Lori for being here and thank Amber especially. It's important that we see the homelessness issue sometimes doesn't have a face. You know, we don't recognize that it's individual people, and everybody comes to it in their own time, their own success. So thank you for being here. I know Supervisor Perez wants to jump in there.
Thank you, Chairman. You know, first of all, you look beautiful. Thank you. And I'm so happy to see you healthy and here. I mean, it takes a lot to come down here and talk to folks in this setting. You know, it speaks volumes about what you believe and what you have experienced. And so I want to thank you for that, for coming here and presenting yourself so marvelously. That's a taxpayer-funded institution. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we don't, and we don't always know how best to do it. But I really would like to thank you for your spirit. It shows, it comes across in the video, that you returned 4 times. A lot of people would say, no, thanks. It's obvious who you are and what you're about. And so the spirit by which we approach these matters is so critical. And I love what you said, that every single person is different. The truth is there are no 2 people that are similar. The particular life of trauma, triumph, is so specific and unique to every human being that if we don't take that approach, you know, we're not going to do well in our job. And, you know, our problems will only continue to perpetuate. But this has been really a bright spot this morning. I appreciate what you're doing. You know, we're here for you. I can't believe it's been 4 years. Wow. But how wonderful to be reminded of the human beings who are being impacted, our neighbors. So keep going, sister. We believe in you. Thank you.
What Amber didn't say is that Amber started off, you saw in the video where she had the bike. Amber has a vehicle. Wow. Now, she started out working she was at Adventist Health as a transport. She went to Flood, was a full-time outreach worker, and now she's working for the tiny homes, which is
Oh my
Heart.
goodness.
So she is a full-time employee there. So, yes. And then I'd like to, my team is here. We couldn't
Sure.
do this without your guys' support. And
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you both for coming today. The next item is, and by the way, I want to make the next item is public presentations. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons to address the board on any matter that is not on the agenda but is under the jurisdiction of the board. And I want to make an announcement that under the next item, which is item 9, it's not agendized, but I did ask 2 weeks ago for Margot Raison, our county counsel, to come back with a report on the situation that we are confronting and with information and options that the public can consider. But this is public presentations, item 6. If there are people here that would like to make a public presentation, now is the time to do so. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Lori Pasante, and I volunteer my time with the Bakersfield Community Policing Group and the Kern County Criminal Justice Reform Coalition. I'm here today to bring to the attention of elected leaders in Kern County and law enforcement leadership related to the Margarita Lopez case. I'm here to support her family. I'm here to support the children who don't feel safe right now. And some of these members you're going to hear from here in a minute, I hope they don't walk out of this room today without some protective orders. And please, did I mention, can we get some protective orders? The other thing I'm asking for is for someone to be a liaison for them so that they can get updates on the investigation and feel supported in this extraordinarily difficult time. They are being left in the dark and no one is helping them, and it is not okay. I also ask for District Attorney Zimmer to expedite consideration of charges. This person was arrested, but then was let go for more investigation, and that is the last we have heard about this. Finally, I ask for hate crime charges to be filed. This is not the first time I've asked for a case to be considered for what it really is, and it's not going to be the last. Anybody who's facing difficulties with our criminal justice system, and I really don't even like calling it a justice system, our criminal legal system, you have the right to file complaints. And if you want help with that, reach out to the Bakersfield Community Policing Group on Facebook. And many people don't realize this, you can file abuse of discretion claims and complaints against the district attorney's office. If you have questions about how to do that and you're not really getting anywhere with the system as it is, I hope you will reach out to people you trust. Perhaps that's us, perhaps it's not, and that's okay. But let's see some movement now. Thank you.
I tried to go first. Just beat
I
me to it.
appreciate that.
My name is Chad Garcia. I'm the chairman of the board of Comrades and Canopies. We are Kern County's Military Veteran Skydiving Association. We skydive. As of today, we've sent 270 veterans on tandem skydives. Our oldest was 99 years old. Our youngest was 19 years old, just out of basic training. We've licensed 10 of my fellow veterans to become licensed skydivers. And I'm also the chairman of the 82nd Airborne Association chapter for San Joaquin Valley. On Monday, and I brought some little flyers right here for the supervisors. On Monday, we're gonna be skydiving into Thousand Flags, which is the event on Stockdale Highway. And I'm just here today to invite the public, come check out a really cool skydiving show. There's gonna be smoke, music, everything associated with crazy combat vets jumping out of airplanes. And it's a patriotic event. It's Memorial Day, and as we enter the week leading into Memorial Day, it's very somber for guys like myself, and we want to make something pretty cool out of this event. And this is the first year that we're actually doing it, and hopefully nothing goes wrong. But if anything does go wrong, which I highly doubt, you know, we won't get invited, but we're hoping to get invited again. So I'm also here to invite you guys to come out in the past, Supervisor Perez and Supervisor Couch, you guys have been very supportive of my organization, and I appreciate that. Supervisor Peters and Supervisor Flores, I think we may have only spoken maybe online or social media in the past, but check us out. We're a really good organization. We're one of the baby organizations in Kern County, but we're not going anywhere. As long as there's a sky and an airplane and a helicopter, we'll jump out of it. So thank you very much, and here are your flyers. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Chad.
So as I take that as a yes, that all four of you will be jumping out of an airplane on Sunday as well, too?
No.
Okay, just wanted to confirm that. Chairman Couch, Supervisors Flores, Peters, and Supervisor Perez. I'm Vince Mayocco, last name spelled M-A-I-O-C-C-O. I want to read the following request on behalf of the town hall organizers who wish to remain anonymous due to local political pressure, whether intended or unintended. I also want to make it clear that I'm not part of this town hall organization, but like many of the voters of Kern County, I am a very concerned citizen. We the people, members of the community and voters in District 2 formally ask an item to be placed on your agenda. Recently, a public hall was to be held to openly discuss our options to fill the vacated or otherwise District 2 supervisor seat. Our wishes for Supervisor Scrivener was to resign were met with an indefinite leave of absence, essentially leaving us unrepresented for an unknown amount of time. Our meeting was canceled to intended or unintended political pressure. We are asking for an opportunity to be heard and educated in a safe, neutral environment. Since our calls for resignation were denied by Supervisor Scrivener, it has been left to us as a community to find a solution to be represented in a productive manner. Recently, there have been discussions about a recall, or more importantly, a county council was quoted in the Bakersfield Californian saying a quo warranto would be a resolution. Therefore, our community members would like you to offer these chambers on a Tuesday afternoon in the next 30 days of your convenience to hold an open forum town hall meeting, much like the oil industry meeting held in January of 2020. We would also ask if you would provide a member of your elections department and a member of your county council to explain and take questions with an extended amount of mic time, let's say 4 minutes per person. We would like answers to what a recall is and what a quo warranto is. timelines for such actions and answers to what will happen if these actions are put into place and achieved. This is a formal request to put this matter to a vote, and we would respectfully ask you provide this forum for our community. Supervisors, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Vince.
Hello, my name is David Abbasi. I was a candidate for Kern County Supervisor District 5, and you can call me Spartacus. That's a reference to Milton Miller, who used to be our 5th District Supervisor. The way our Board of Supervisors is conducting themselves is very disappointing and disgusting. The hedonism and depravity of our local officials never ceases to amaze. The debauchery is limitless and knows no bounds, just like the racketeering that's going on. The Lords of Bakersfield are still very active today, just as they were when names like Towser and Jagels were in the news. Former District Attorney Ed Jagels was known to protect the Lords, which included attorneys, department heads, and politicians. In the present day, Ed Jagels' protege, Cynthia Zimmer, often referred to as the Queen of Winterfell, appears to be safeguarding the current influential figures such as Leticia Perez and Zach Scribner. Zach Scribner must resign. Donnie Youngblood, the district attorney, must also resign for their special treatment and handling of this situation. You'll arrest me for calling for help after being attacked, but Scribner never arrested. 30 guns, child rape, cocaine, which we know was cocaine, not mushrooms, and being stabbed by his own son in defense of his sibling were involved. Mr. Flores, how many guns do you have? Are you planning on storming Gaza with them? Are you taking sexcations to Brazil to exploit young males like Andre Gonzalez is, according to Leticia's soon-to-be ex-husband? The public defender's office told me they will not represent me because of Leticia. Am I being punished for cooperating with the district attorney's office when it still had integrity under Lisa Green before they brought charges on Perez? Ms. Perez, are you or were you having an affair with Zach Scribner? Have you been with or seen Zach outside of these chambers? Because I'm hearing multiple reports of people of you and having an inappropriate relationship. The county should investigate. What do they do for these types of inappropriate relationships? Potential conflict of interest with your votes? Eventually, I'm running out of time here. You know, karma will get you, just like she did Philip Ganong, Leticia Perez, Evan Demestajas, and now Zach Scribner.
Mr. Abbasi.
Eventually,
You have,
overtime?
yes, sir.
Oh, too late. All right. Look what happened to Towser. Eventually, your other victims, not me,
Thank you for your comments today.
you know. Thank you.
Good morning, Supervisors. Nadine Escalante. I'm here as a member with Bakersfield Community Policing and with ACLU Kern County's Criminal Justice Coalition. I'm here with the family of Margarita Lopez, and we are asking on behalf of the family for the Kern County Sheriff's Department to thoroughly complete their investigation, provide their investigation to the DA's office, and ask for DA Zimmer to do a full investigation and proceed with the charges. It is not safe in our community for us to have a murderer walking these streets. This man beat her and then shot her. We as a community do not understand how he was able to beat her and then not be held in custody and is allowed to walk the streets of Bakersfield. Is not safe. It is not safe for Frances Lopez, her sister, and for Margarita's children. And we're asking for the DA Witness Protection Program to please support this family during this time. It is not okay for us as a community or for you as Board of Supervisors to stand by and see injustice done in your community. As we talk about the budgets pretty soon, we always see a rise in the Sheriff's Department's budget and the DA's budget, stating public safety. This is public safety number one. This was a woman who was assaulted, beaten, and murdered, and this man is safely watching TV right now and laughing at us all. I ask you all to please stand up and do something. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Escalante. Who'll be next?
Good morning. My name is Armando Garcia, and I am here on behalf of the Kern County Young Democrat Leaders. I'm here to address the recent investigations alleging that Supervisor Zach Scrivener was stabbed by his own son for sexually abusing his minor daughter. I'll say that again. Zach Scrivener, who sits on the Kern County Board of Supervisors and makes a living off of our taxpayers' dollars, was allegedly arrested or is under investigation for allegedly being stabbed multiple times by his son for sexually abusing his daughter, who is a minor. These recent actions from Zach Scrivener are disgusting, they're foul, and they go against everything that a public official should stand for. It has been 1 month since these allegations, and yet there hasn't been any arrest or any updates given to the community in which he represents. Given the severity of these allegations and the position that Zach holds, the community must be given some updates on the status of this. How many times has this happened before? How many other victims are there due to his actions? Regardless of the outcome, we demand that Supervisor Zach Scrivener resign from his post immediately. He has tainted the integrity of this board and should have any influence or power that he has stripped away from him. If he chooses not to resign, I call on the rest of you on the Kern County Board of Supervisors to bring a vote to remove him from his position immediately. David Couch, last meeting you said that you have no special information given to you. I find that hard to believe considering that your colleague, Zach Scrivener, is the nephew of the district attorney. I also find it especially difficult to believe that someone like you who has held this position for many years has no special information provided to you. Jeff Flores, last meeting you mentioned that this county will continue to serve its residents with dignity. Well, the only way to do that is by doing the right thing and by removing Zach Scrivener from his position. The communities that you all supposedly represent are all keeping a close eye on this and are looking for answers. That is all.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Who'll be next?
Hello, my name is Valerie Pinto, Pinto like the bean, Pinto. Good morning, Chairman and Board. I already introduced myself. I'm also a member of the Young Democratic Leaders of Kern. I have been a resident of Kern County for the past 13 years or so. My schooling and civic engagement efforts have been dedicated to making Kern County a better place. That includes tutoring K-12 students, feeding the unhoused, and canvassing for nonpartisan voter education, and overall community involvement. As the eldest sibling to 2 beautiful young ladies and 1 baby girl, and as a dedicated community member, I want Kern to be a safe place for all young children and youth. I say this to demonstrate that Kern County leaders ought to be an example to young children and youth. Whereas Zach Scrivener has been accused of sexually assaulting a minor, whereas Zach Scrivener has been charged with the illegal possession of psychedelics, and whereas had he been a regular community member like myself, he would have been long gone by now. I strongly urge Zach Scrivener to resign from his position as Board of Supervisor. I also would like to offer an additional approach that has been long overdue. This is a prime example demonstrating how the mental health system here in Kern County has failed us all. Zach Scrivener, my fellow community members, and so many other parties involved. Kern County has been calling for you all to focus on budgeting around more access to quality mental health care and resources for hurting communities in need of non-punitive mental health care. If not for your community, do it for your colleague. I strongly urge the Board of Supervisors to fund an accessible path to quality mental health care. And when do we want it? We want it now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pinto. Who's next?
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Harveen Kaur. I'm the Vice President of Kern Young Dem Leaders. And I've also worked as a community organizer in the past in this local area, and I'm a lifelong resident, and most importantly, a community member of Kern County. I come before you today with a very heavy heart and a sense of profound disappointment in the leadership of our county. As a community, we pride ourselves on upholding the values of justice and integrity and accountability. However, recent events have shaken those principles. The actions of Supervisor Zach Scrivener of District 2 has cast a dark shadow over our county. The allegations of sexual assault against his own minor daughter are not only deeply disturbing, but also a betrayal of the trust placed within him by the people of Kern County. What is perhaps even more troubling is the lack of accountability and transparency in response to these allegations. While Kern County has often been lauded for its tough-on-crime approach, it's unconscionable that someone accused of such heinous crimes is allowed to continue serving in a position of power, and let's just call him for what he is, a pedophile. The silence and inaction of our law enforcement entities in this case are deafening. Why is Mr. Scrivener, accused of such a vile crime, allowed to walk free? What makes him the exception of our rigorous law enforcement standards? Is it because his aunt, Cynthia Zimmer, the district attorney, is protecting him from facing justice? Or is it because his affiliation with the Republican Party, which claims to value family and community protection, yet seems to be blinded by hypocrisy in this instance? Is it enough to simply sweep these allegations under the rug and to turn a blind eye to the suffering of the victim? As elected officials, you have a duty to uphold the law and to ensure the safety of the well-being of all community members, and I know you are all well-intended. It's simply, I call upon Supervisor Scrivener to do the right thing and to resign from his position and not to hide away. Face your actions, and his continued presence, or actually his lack of presence on the board, thank you, will speaks to.
Thank you for your comments today.
Thank you.
bet.
Have a great day.
Hello, my name is Sandra Castañon, Castanon. I am also a fellow member of the Kern County Young Democrat Leaders. Board of Supervisors, I'd first like to state that as a community member, I am deeply concerned by your lack of transparency regarding your colleague and pedophile Zach Scrivener. The allegations against him aren't to be taken lightly. Others and I feel you have not kept the community safe by allowing him to remain as District 2 Supervisor. Zach Scrivener, 1, received preferential treatment that us regular civilians aren't granted. He had the sheriff's department arrive to his home as opposed to the police department. Why? Is it because his aunt is the district attorney? 2, he has not faced his constituents. 3, nor has he released a public statement addressing the situation. I'd like to remind you all that the trust of the people is the cornerstone of public service, and this behavior has violated that trust. These allegations are damaging not only to Mr. Scrivener's reputation, but also to the integrity that your positions hold. I hope you can all take accountability and denounce your colleague, Zach Scrivener. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. You'll be next.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Daisy Guerra, Guerra. Today we are seeking justice for Margarita Lopez, a remarkable individual whose life was tragically taken from us through an act of violence on Pearl Street in District 5. Margarita was not only a valued member of our community, this was a heinous crime, must not go unpunished. The person responsible for her death must be held accountable and face full extent of the law. Margarita's family is currently enduring immense pain and suffering as they mourn the loss of a beloved mother, daughter, sister, aunt, and friend. Margarita always prioritized the well-being of those around her. Beyond her professional life in the medical field, she was a pillar of strength and love within her family. Her absence has left a void that can never be filled. They deserve justice, not only to bring closure to their own grief, but also to ensure that no other family has to endure such a devastating loss. The person responsible for robbing Margarita of her future must be held accountable and face the consequences of their action. We need your support to files to be charged. I implore the Board of Supervisors to assist us in pressuring the DA and the Kern County Sheriffs to ensure justice is served. As a concerned member of our community, I urge you to help us in efforts to remove Paul Magallanes from the streets of Bakersfield. The call for justice is not just for Margarita, but for the entire community that mourns the loss of such a remarkable individual. We refuse to remain silent in the face of injustice, and we will persist in our pursuit of truth and accountability. Margarita's memory will forever be cherished, and we will honor her legacy in fighting for justice she so rightfully deserves. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Who'll be next?
Supervisor Couch, I'm closing.
I'm sorry, Supervisor Perez, would you like to make a comment?
Yes. Daisy, could you please head up to my office and speak with Christian Romo? He's waiting for you. Could you also let us know, oh, I'm sorry, he's right here. Could you also let us know who you're working with at the district attorney's office, if you have a name, anybody throughout law enforcement that you've talked to, so we can work directly with them? Okay. Thank you.
Good morning. Hi, my name is Frances Bocanegra. I am here today to get justice for my older sister.
I'm sorry, can you repeat your last name and maybe spell it?
Bocanegra, B as in boy, Ocanegra.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm here to get justice for my older sister, Margarita Lopez. Her murderer, Paul Magallanes, was arrested on the night of April 19th, but was released just days later. Paul Magallanes was no stranger. He and my sister were in each other's lives for 23 years. That was her brother-in-law. At the time, we needed more information to understand the full extent of this horrific crime. It's been a month and still nothing has been done. Paul Magallanes is a free man. One thing is certain, Paul Magallanes pulled the trigger. He is under investigation and has legal representation that seems to only solidify his guilt. Shockingly, he continues to receive a salary funded by our hardworking taxpayers like ourselves. This is an injustice that should not be ignored. That night, my sister was assaulted, and he said many racist slurs to her. There was many witnesses. Why did he have to shoot my sister? I know he always disliked her for no reason, just because she was Mexican. This is a hate crime to me. I fear for myself and my family as I have been on the news and speaking to be heard. My mom, who is not here today, informed us that she's seen family members of Paul Magallanes drive by my mom's house. Also, social media is another. Many of Paul's family members have been attacking us regarding my sister's death. I asked for this investigation to be completed because my sister deserves justice, and so does our family. Our family is in need of some protective order. We need support from the Board of Supervisors. I need to protect myself and my family and get justice for my sister, Margarita Lopez. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Well, is there anyone else here that would like to speak on that particular subject? Seeing none, I'm not familiar with the details of that case or the status of that case at all, so I want to refer that to our county counsel and have you contact the district attorney and ask if she or someone in her staff can contact the family. Okay. Do you want to jump in any further? Okay, thank you. Now, I don't know about any protective order. I heard that earlier. I'm not familiar that we are capable of anything like that. Okay, thank you. Mr. Robles, thank you.
Good morning. My name is Ralph Robles, R-O-B-L-E-S. I am a veteran, and these are the times of discontent in Kern County. You have heard people complaining about the leadership and lack of leadership in this county. I have been coming to you for over 2 years now, bringing to you the deficiencies in our electoral system. Yet you seem to be lacking in any motivation to correct those problems. The one time I thought you were going to correct a simple security problem with the cameras over the ballot drop boxes, you have done nothing. You haven't even bothered to give me a lame excuse, much less a valid one. All you did was ask Ms. Espinoza, can these cameras be put on live stream to the public? And she said no, because we have the wrong kind of camera. Well, that's funny. That camera is good enough to bring a live stream into her office. And if you want to see it, you have to come in at her hours. And oh yeah, there's no memory, so we can't see what happened last night or the night before. Let me remind you that this is election time. This is the time that people are voting, and you're going to hear their voices, and I think you're going to hear them more frequently and more loudly. You have seen now a long line of people who are discontented with the management of this county and its various departments. Now, there's a little thing called plug and play when it comes to electronic systems. If you have a stereo and you would like to have it around the house, you plug in amplifiers or Bluetooth or Wi-Fi's, but you can't upgrade a camera system so that it can live stream on the internet. Funny, you can live stream this meeting on the internet, but we are not apparently allowed to see who is stuffing our ballot boxes in the middle of the night. Again, I remind you, this is your year of discontent and your unwillingness to do anything about it.
Thank you for your comment, sir. Appreciate it. Morning, Dennis.
Dennis McLean, MC, capital L-E-A-N. Good morning, Chairman Couch and trustees. Thank you for letting me speak. I will be brief this morning in my presentation. These are discouraging times for the citizens of Kern County. The county is being sued, along with the state of California, for not complying with the federal law to keep our election voter rolls current. Many have spoken, exposing the deficiencies in our local election department, but nothing has been done by your board. It is grave times that fair and accurate elections do not exist in today's society. May I direct a question to the supervisor who labeled many as election deniers? You may have to retract that statement. If our county is found guilty in this lawsuit. Excuse me, it's my time.
Okay, I'm not going to retract anything.
Pardon me?
I'm not retracting anything.
Let's finish and then we'll make our comments.
How rude.
You're rude. You're rude. You come in here every week and call us names.
It's my responsibility.
Go ahead.
Does he get his time back?
As our county currently has a black eye with recent allegations of psychotic behavior by District 2 Supervisor Scrivener, we hope to get some current information from your staff today. I will close with saying I believe this county deserves the best leadership and representation for the hard-working taxpayers of this county. Thank you for letting me speak, except one individual.
Thank you, Dennis. Who'll be next?
I'm reading from the U.S. Elections Assistance Commission, the EAC.
Sir, can you state your name for the record?
Oh, sorry about that. Nice to meet you, Board. Jess Sanders. So, the ongoing process of improving the United States election system relies in part on having an accurate data and the way of account about the way Americans cast their ballots. In 2002, Congress chartered the U.S. Elections Assistance Commission, the EAC, to collect information on the United States of America's elections and to make the information widely available to policymakers, advocates, scholars, journalists, and other general public. Since 2004, the EAC has sponsored a biennial survey as its primary tool for fulfilling its information and collections mission. The EAC is mandated by the National Voters Registration Act, NVRA, to collect information for the states concerning the impact of the statute of the administration of the federal elections. With this information, the EAC is required to make a report to Congress and provide recommendations for providing a federal and state procedures form and the other NVRA matters. States that respond in a timely manner to all these questions in the survey concerning the voter registration matters will meet their NVRA reporting requirements under the 52 U.S.C. subsection 20508 and the EAC regulations. That's that. I want to reiterate some of the concerns about Zach. I also want to say that it's not just the Democrats of this city that are interested in that. The Republicans would really like to see some justice there. As far as other allegations that were made this morning, I think they should also be looked into across the board. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Who'll be next? Supervisor Perez.
Sir, you would, as you mentioned other allegations, you looked at me. I'm going to assume that you're referring to the allegation of an affair. And I want to let you know, and the public know, that Mr. Scrivener and I have never been alone together. We're colleagues. I wouldn't even call us friends. There's absolutely no truth to it. So there you go.
Morning, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning.
Good morning, board members. My name is Charles Shin. I am a retired Marine. I am not a Democrat. And I would like Mr. Scrivener to step down because he's lost his moral authority to lead. Our current elections chief stated on 23 January 2024 that she would deliver a 5-year report to the chairman, Mr. Couch, detailing the past Kern County voter roll removals. This is also required information by law. We are still waiting for this open and public report. The last EAC EVAS report, which was due back on November of 2022, was missing so much information that Judicial Watch included Kern County with 19 other counties as the worst in reporting election data as required by the NVRA, which has only been around since 1993. Kern's concerned citizens are looking forward to the forthcoming November report where we can access the last 2 years' worth of local election voting and registration data. By the way, our next report is due in 6 short months. When can we get a final report on our Dropbox cameras recording 24/7 at all 19 locations? These cameras were supposed to help secure all unattended Dropbox locations, recording everything 24/7 for the record. When was the last time a race in Kern County was forensically examined? How about an election department audit? By the way, who is overseeing both of these departments? Hopefully not the same person. Several folks have submitted CPRAs for reviewing current election official records, yet many remain unanswered. When will there be a review of this neglect? Where is our newly appointed Elections Information Officer, Adam Clark? Hello, Kern citizens would like to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shin. Morning.
Man, this is a heavy day going on here. The definition of insanity, do we all know
Sir, can you
it?
state your name for the record, please?
I'm Ron Barger, and good morning. But I don't know if we should use good. Morning. Okay, it's coming up on 4 years and really no changes have occurred in regards to our election operations. All the hours of information pieced together to present to this board, and we're still in the same predicament. You're happy with the Dominion machines and the people aren't. Kerry Lakes isn't happy about the 22 Arizona machines not operating until the afternoon in 7 of the red precincts and no election results for weeks. Kern County is in the same type of a problem in 2022 with machines not operating throughout the county until 12:30 p.m. I don't think it's acceptable, really, but we accepted it. In 2020 in Pennsylvania, they had more votes than registered voters. Obviously, they needed to refresh their voter rolls. Kern County and 19 other counties, as Charles said, in California with the same type scenarios, dirty voter rolls. It's not acceptable, but we accepted it, and we're still accepting it, and nothing's being done. In 2020, 5 swing states shut down their machines simultaneously in the early AM with Trump leading in each state. When they returned back online, 5 had been flipped, all 5 of them. 70% of the voters in the recent poll feel that the 2020 election was illegitimate. Not a conspiracy theory, but facts and information so compelling that if you had eyes to see and ears to hear, There won't be another fair, transparent election unless we eliminate the machines, the tabulators, return to same-day, paper ballot, in-person, ID required, with no mail-in ballots. This method was used for over 200 years, can be implemented in a very short period of time with election results in the same day. Now, this makes a lot of sense. It's cheaper, same-day results, in a satisfied community. I also have here for the board, if they would like to look at it, I don't know if you remember David Clemens that came here and spoke. He was a professor. Has anybody seen this movie yet?
Mr. Barger, please leave that with us, but you're about 20 seconds over, so.
Okay, yeah, I would like for you guys to sit and all watch it together, and then you might know why 200 million of us aren't happy with our
I
election.
think it would be illegal for us to all sit and watch that together outside of a board meeting, but we'll maybe watch it individually.
Okay, great, great.
Any other public statements?
You'll get it? Okay.
Okay, seeing none, we'll go to board member announcements and reports. I'll start. I asked Ms. Rezon 2 weeks ago to come back with a report and just sort of address the elephant in the room and the issue that is before us and the public, and maybe laying out the situation as you know it, and what options are going forward for the public, what options are for the board. I know one of the speakers thinks it's outrageous and unbelievable that I and maybe other members of the board don't have special information. I can assure the public we don't. I'm not even sure what you're going to say right now, but I'll turn it over to you and allow you to give us your report. Thank you.
Thank you. Chairman, board members, it's a long report, so bear with me. To start with, and just based on something that Supervisor Perez asked and something that you, Chairman, said, there should be a reminder and a knowledge known that everyone is entitled to privacy as it especially relates to any kind of medical condition. We've all been to the doctor's office or the pharmacy and have signed documents about HIPAA and patient rights information and private health information. None of that has gone away in light of, as you said, the elephant in the room. It would be inappropriate to release any medical information if you did have it. It's my understanding, it's my knowledge that you do not have any additional information, however, that hasn't been released by either Supervisor Scrivener's attorney, who released a media statement on Wednesday, May 8th, announcing that Supervisor Scrivener is on a medical leave until further notice, or the Attorney General, who announced that their office, or his office, is reviewing the investigation completed by the Kern County Sheriff's Office. While there is quite a bit of information on social media and other public outlets, I have no idea where that information comes from, but from my knowledge, it isn't from anything your board, Ms. Martinez, or I know. And as unbelievable as it may sound, again, to my knowledge, nobody is calling any of you or us to say, oh, here's the scoop. It's just not happening. So with that, I would like to go over the information I have about how a vacancy on a Board of Supervisors is created and what happens if, in fact, there is a vacancy on the board. This area is covered primarily by the California Government Code as well as the California Elections Code. First, what creates a vacancy on a Board of Supervisors?
I'm going to interrupt you for just a second.
Okay.
We sat quietly and we listened to a lot of public speakers, and I'm just going to ask the public, maybe you didn't hear them, I'm going to ask the public that is here today to reciprocate and provide you with that courtesy. Thank you.
Thank you. First, what creates a vacancy on the Board of Supervisors? Government Code Section 1770, titled Events Causing Vacancy Before Expiration of Term, lists 14 events that create a vacancy prior to the expiration of a term of office. In order listed, those events are the death of an incumbent, an adjudication pursuant to a quo warranto proceeding declaring that the incumbent is physically or mentally incapacitated due to disease, illness, or accident, and that there is reasonable cause to believe that the incumbent will not be able to perform the duties of his or her office for the remainder of his or her term. His or her resignation, his or her removal from office, his or her ceasing to be an inhabitant of the state, or if the office be local, and one for which local residence is required by law, of the district, county, or city for which the officer was chosen or appointed, or within which the duties of his or her office are required to be discharged. His or her absence from the state without the permission required by law beyond the period allowed by law. His or her ceasing to discharge the duties of his or her office for the period of 3 consecutive months, except when prevented by sickness or when absent from the state with the permission required by law. His or her conviction of a felony or of any offense involving a violation of his or her official duties. His or her refusal or neglect to file his or her required oath or bond within the time prescribed. The decision of a competent tribunal declaring void his or her election or appointment. The making of an order vacating his or her office or declaring the office vacant when the officer fails to furnish an additional or supplemental bond. His or her commitment to a hospital or sanitarium by a court of competent jurisdiction as a drug addict, dipsomaniac, inebriate, or stimulant addict, but in that event, the office shall not be deemed vacant until the order of commitment has become final. And the last one is that the incumbent is listed on the excluded parties list system. This does not apply to elected officials, but the excluded parties list system is an electronic directory of individuals and organizations that are not permitted to receive federal contracts or assistance from the U.S. government. Most of these 14 events are self-explanatory, but an explanation of quo warranto might need a little more explanation. So Section 1770B discusses an adjudication pursuant to a quo warranto proceeding. Generally speaking, quo warranto is a special form of legal action used to resolve a dispute over whether a specific person has the legal right to hold an office, not evaluate the person's performance in the office. Quo warranto is Latin for by what authority, as in, by what authority does this person hold this office? For purposes of Section 17B, a quo warranto proceeding would determine if an incumbent is physically or mentally incapacitated due to disease, illness, or accident, and that there is reasonable cause to believe that the incumbent will not be able to perform the duties of his or her office for the remainder of the term. The California Attorney General has information about quo warranto proceedings on his website at oag.ca.gov. This is just one example of the information on that website. The website explains the somewhat cumbersome process, but in essence, a quo warranto proceeding may be brought by the Attorney General or by someone else acting with the consent of the Attorney General. The Attorney General must approve all quo warranto proceedings. Although the Attorney General occasionally brings a quo warranto action on the initiative of his office or at the direction of the governor, usually the action is filed and prosecuted by a private party or local agency who has obtained the Attorney General's consent or leave to sue. In order to obtain approval, a person who wants to file a quo warranto action, and that person is called the relator because he or she relates the complaint to the Attorney General, must follow a formal process established by the Attorney General. The relator must arrange for proposed pleadings to be prepared by a licensed attorney, and those pleadings contain a memorandum of points and authority, a statement of fact, a verified petition. Those documents must be provided to the Attorney General, and the relator must serve the pleadings on the public official in question. The public official then has an opportunity to respond to the claims made in the proposed pleadings. The relator may then submit a reply. After all the papers are filed, the Attorney General's office reviews the pleadings and evaluates the facts and law, and then issues an opinion either granting or denying the application to sue. If approval to sue is given, the relator files the lawsuit in Superior Court and handles it in court under the supervision of the Attorney General. The court then decides whether the public official is or is not entitled to hold the office. Next, Section 1770G provides a vacancy is created when the incumbent ceases to discharge the duties of his or her office for the period of 3 consecutive months, except when prevented by sickness or when absent from the state with the permission required by law. Absence due to illness does not on its own create a vacancy on the Board of Supervisors. However, if it is determined through a quo warranto proceeding, as I just described, then a vacancy is created. The next topic I'd like to cover is what happens if there is a vacancy. California Government Code Section 25060 states, whenever a vacancy occurs in a Board of Supervisors, the governor shall fill the vacancy. The person appointed serves until the election and qualification of a successor. The election of a successor to fill the unexpired term is held at the next general election following the creation of the vacancy, unless the term expires on the first Monday after January 1st succeeding the election. This means if the election is in what would have been the last year in the incumbent or the previous incumbent's term, the election defaults to the normal election cycle. Accordingly, the timing of the vacancy determines when an election for a successor is held. For instance, whether it occurs at a general election held midterm or defaults to the general election which otherwise would have been utilized to fill the position at the end of the term. And now, in case you're not confused, it gets really confusing. For the purposes I'm discussing now, general election does not mean what most of us think of as the general election, which in my mind is the election on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. For purposes of an election to vote for a successor board member, the possible dates of a general election are the first Tuesday after the first Monday in March of each even-numbered year that is evenly divisible by 4, or the first Tuesday after the first Monday in March of each odd-numbered year, or the second Tuesday of April in each even-numbered year, or the first Tuesday after the first Monday in June in each even-numbered year that is not evenly divisible by 4, and the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November of each year. These dates are found in California Elections Code at sections 324 and 1000. However, there can't just be an election to vote for a Board of Supervisor seats on these dates. There must be a concurrent statewide election held on that date. Under this definition, the next general election is November 5th, 2024. At this time, the California Secretary of State has not listed or disclosed any statewide elections occurring in 2025. If, however, a statewide election is scheduled, and keeping in mind 2025 is an odd-numbered year, such election would be scheduled for March 4th, 2025, which is the first Tuesday after the first Monday in March of 2025. The next possible statewide election is November 4th, 2025. If there are no statewide elections in 2025, the next election would be April 14th, 2026, which is the second Tuesday in April in an even-numbered year, not evenly divisible by 4, followed by November 3rd, 2026. Keep in mind, however, per the second part of Government Code Section 25061, the election to fill a vacancy is not held at the next general election if the vacant term expires on the first Monday after January 1st succeeding the election. This means an election during the final year of the original incumbent's term would occur in the ordinary course of the scheduled election cycle. Under this last scenario, if a candidate was elected with a majority vote in the March, April, or June election, depending on what year it is, then he or she would take office upon qualification pursuant to Government Code Section 25060. However, if no candidate obtained a majority, then a runoff would take place in the November election, and the successful candidate in November would take office upon qualification, meaning he or she would not need to wait until the first Monday after January 1st. This confusing structure is found in various places in the Elections and Government Code. Further confusion arises because if there is a vacancy that is then filled by the governor until the next general election, as just described, the timelines and deadlines to run for office and found in the election code must still be followed. So to walk through a scenario, if a vacancy were to be created today, and although the March election is over, someone could submit paperwork to pursue the independent nomination process and be placed on the November 2024 ballot. The independent nomination process provides a method for candidates to be nominated by petition without running in the earlier primary election, and quote there, the earlier primary election, and may be used in lieu of a primary election. However, nomination papers must be submitted to the county elections official at least 88 days before the date of the election. This means that for the November 5th, 2024 general election, the deadline to submit paperwork is no later than August 9th, 2024, which is 88 days prior to the election.
Can I ask a question about that?
Yes?
Let's assume there are multiple candidates.
Yes?
Is it a plurality or a majority that is required in November?
I believe that the candidate with the most votes wins. If a vacancy were to occur, say on August 10th, 2024 or later, there would not be enough time to have a candidate's name placed on the November 2024 ballot, and we would then look toward the next general election, keeping in mind the election timelines and deadlines to qualify to be placed on a ballot always must be followed. And finally, Government Code Section 1770D provides that an office becomes vacant by removal from office. A recall election could remove someone from office. Not unlike the rest of the matters I've talked about, the recall process is governed by statute and is subject to various deadlines and qualifying events. The Secretary of State online at www.sos.ca.gov has a user-friendly handbook about recall petitions and elections and even includes sample forms. This is a copy of that handbook. However, to summarize, the steps in a recall are numerous and include the first is that a notice of intention to circulate a recall petition is first served on the officer sought to be recalled. Then within 7 days, the notice of intention must be filed with the elections official, together with the proof of service. Once the notice of intention is filed, the officer has 7 days to file an answer and serve a copy on the proponent. 10 days after either the answer is filed and served or the deadline to file an answer, the proponent must file the blank petition template with the election official for review and approval or correction. Then, within another 10 days, the elections official shall ascertain whether the proposed form and wording of the petition meets statutory requirements and notify the proponents. Then, if the petition is not approved, the elections official shall specify the required alterations within a 10-day notification. And this 10-day notification of correction and notification can go back and forth or be repeated until the election official finds no alterations are available or appropriate. Then the election official shall make a copy of the petition available for public inspection for 10 days. Once the petition is approved, it can be circulated for signatures. Those circulating the petition could have up to 160 days to submit the petition with the required number of signatures to the elections official. The length of time to circulate the petition and the number of signatures required varies, and it is based on the number of registered voters within a particular supervisorial district. For the county of Kern, it's generally, give or take, about 15% of the registered voters within each supervisory district.
Not who voted in the last election, but the percentage of the actual registered
voters. After obtaining the necessary number of signatures and filing the petition with the election official has 30 days to examine the petition for signature check and certify if it meets their requirements. If found sufficient, the election official shall certify the results to the Board of Supervisors at the next regular meeting. There are some circumstances or a process where that first 30 days could be extended to 60 days. Then within 14 days, the Board of Supervisors will issue an order stating that an election shall be held. And that election is held between 88 and 125 days following the board's order. Or the election can be pushed to 180 days or up to 180 days to consolidate it with a regularly scheduled election. If the recall is successful, the officer is removed from office, and the office shall be vacant until it is filled according to law. For Board of Supervisor recalls, voters vote only as to whether someone should be recalled. A vote for a successor is not held as part of the recall election. So I apologize
Hang on, I have a question about that too.
for these long explanations, but what I've shared are the procedures that preserve the election process, someone's entitlement to a seat that once they've been elected to, and a manner for filling a vacancy. And if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
Okay, my question is, well, why don't you go first?
Thank you, Chairman. Well, now that it's all cleared up. So I thought on a recall election that you usually have a corresponding ask on who would be replacing. Is that always the case? Does it have to be the case? It is a separate question from a recall. Do you get my drift?
I do, and for a local officer, because you're right, in a couple of years ago when there was a recall election for the governor's position, it was a two-part ballot that said, should the governor be recalled, yes or no? And then there was a second one that listed various people who were running for governor. Should the current governor have been recalled? That's not how local election recalls occur. The local officer cannot include a successor. It's just a single question on a recall.
And that independently creates the vacancy.
And that would then, I'd say that under 1770, once the person is recalled, they've been removed from office.
So
my question then is, does the governor then have the right, maybe even the responsibility to, can he appoint someone?
Yes,
after
because then you have a vacancy.
Assuming the recall is
Once there's a vacancy, the governor shall fill it.
But does that mean that there will be an election some certain number of days after the successful recall?
It would then be the election process as described that falls on all those different dates.
So the potential governor's appointee might only serve a short period of time.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Chairman,
Go
Mayor.
ahead.
So the declaration of the vacancy must occur with time having passed from the actual recall election. They cannot be concurrent, the selection of somebody new.
Yes, if the recall was successful, and in that the person should the person be removed from office, I'd say that under 1770 of the government code, the position is then vacant, and the governor it says governor shall appoint the successor.
Governor shall means the governor has to.
There's no timeline associated with when the governor has. And from what I've been able to find out, it varies. If, I know in one example, the incumbent was not running for reelection, and the vacancy occurred very close to the end of the term, and so a successor person had already gone through the election process. The governor appointed that person who was going to take office in January, just appointed them in October. I know in another county, the vacancy became, vacancy occurred in November of December at the end of a term, and the governor just didn't appoint anybody. It just by operation of law in January, a new person was sworn in to take it. So
if
it varies.
it's a short enough period and we have
Perhaps.
candidates that are teed up, that it's possible the governor will just let it be and let the voters decide.
It just says the governor shall appoint. So then it's just in practicality what it is that the governor chooses to
The
do.
timeline. Okay. That's all, Chair, for now.
Does that conclude your report?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. I know that wasn't easy, probably wasn't any fun, but I appreciate you doing it. We are doing our best to just put information out, given the situation that we confront. But I think it needs to be noted that it's very early on in this situation, and we have no idea of the outcome. We don't have any special information, despite comments that you heard today. And that report that I requested is really in response to questions I've been asked, questions that have been asked here at board meetings, and I'm sure the questions that all of us have gotten from various corners of our district. So I appreciate it. Are there any, Supervisor Flores, I know you have punched in, but I don't know if it's about this particular subject or not.
For public member comments.
Okay. Well, we're still in member comments. Is it appropriate, is it okay if I open it up to members of the public, having heard what you just said, if they have any short questions that are, I'm not opening it up necessarily for a whole nother round of public statements, just if there are any specific questions to what you just said?
That is
Is that
something that's within your discretion.
Okay. Are there any specific issues that we didn't hit? Well, step to the microphone. I don't want to go all day on this, so please be, we're not making a statement. We're just asking a question of the board, and we'll direct it there.
Okay, I just wanted to know if any of the considerations would be, because it just was an election, is it anything going to be considered on who the next runner-up would have been for that replacement? Are they going to take any of the last election into account?
I'm gonna jump out on a limb there and play election attorney and say that's entirely up to assuming any of this played out and the governor had a choice, it's up to him, right?
Correct.
I mean, he could take that into account, or he doesn't have to.
That's right. Correct.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else?
When does the timeline start?
Mr. Barger, I'm gonna ask you to come to the microphone and you heard about 75 different timelines there. Which one are you referring to?
The timeline for when he vacated the seat, and if there's a timeline to present.
Well, are you
the
talking
case.
about the 90-day or the 3-month window?
Well, I meant, if he was gone 2 weeks ago, would his timeline begin then for not being here and doing his job?
Good question.
Pursuant to the code section, missing a meeting or missing 2 meetings does not begin a timeline for a vacancy as defined under 1770. The closest that comes is either his or her ceasing to be an inhabitant of the state, or if the office be local, which it is, or one for which local residence is required by law, then ceasing to be an inhabitant of the district, county, or city for which the officer was chosen. And then the other one is 1770G, which says his or her ceasing to discharge the duties of his or her office for the period of 3 consecutive months, except when prevented by illness or when absent from the state with the permission required by law. But the media, there was a media release on May 18th that said Supervisor Scrivener is on a medical leave of absence. I believe it says until further notice.
So that would put that in abeyance?
That seems to put that in abeyance.
Okay.
Chairman Couch, may I address County Council?
You
Or do I
got
need to
to,
address
you're
you
addressing us and we
Okay,
address
so I'll
her.
address, so
Gotcha.
here, so my question would be, or actually, if I'm reading between the lines here, a quo warranto is a much shorter time frame than a recall process. Is that fair to assume?
I know
What
nothing about quo
Supervisor Perez
warranto.
just says, it sounds like it could be. However, it is a multi-step process. There are no specific timelines associated with it, like how long the Attorney General has to review it and give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. But it is my understanding that these matters are fast-tracked because of, just because of the somewhat urgent nature of them. It doesn't say that the court has to decide within a certain period of time, but there's some indication that things like that occur quickly. Timing, there's nothing that says it shall be started and completed within blank number of days or weeks.
With County Council's explanation on all the dates and all of that, I was left with the impression that a recall could take a half a year, at least 6 months, when you start the paperwork, when everything transpires. Is that fair to assume?
I think that's fair. If everything went right,
Right,
yes.
yeah.
But
That's best case scenario, right?
You're learning this.
Little civics here, 101.
I know a little bit about
I
that
like it.
part. I don't know anything about the quo warranto.
Right.
Until today.
There we go. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I'm going to close that part off of the board member announcement reports. Thank you again for that. Supervisor Perez, do you have a question or comment about this subject before we move on to other announcements and reports? Okay. Well, you've punched in. Okay. Supervisor Flores.
Thank you, Chairman Couch. And also, thank you for that referral. It was very much needed, and thank you for that analysis, County Council. Very thorough, very complicated, but very real, and we appreciate that, as does the public. So I wanted to apologize on the appointments under consent. I didn't realize that my new appointee was in the audience. I saw her after the fact. But on our consent calendar, we voted unanimously to appoint Ms. Vivian Cow to 3rd District Children and Families Commission. And that commission is tasked with doing tremendous work from ages 0 to 5. And it was initiated by a proposition back in the 90s under Rob Reiner. And it's basically the smoking tax. And we take those monies and we put them in for education, prenatal, all kinds of good things to help our children succeed here in the county. And so Vivian Cow is a rising star in our community. She's on the leadership team at Adventist Health, which is very appropriate. And also she's the new president of the Kern County Asian Chamber of Commerce. So congratulations. Would you like to say a few words?
I saw that person walk in and I thought that looked like you, but I wasn't sure.
I don't have my badge. I do. Well, good morning, Honorable Mr. Chairman and members of the Board of Supervisors. My name is Vivian, and I am the proud mother of 3 children under the age of 5. And so I'm extremely humbled. I know it's been a fun time. I'm extremely humbled to be appointed to the Children and Families Commission. I know I'm preaching to the choir, but the first 5 years of a child's life are the most indicative and significant to their overall development and trajectory for success. And I've had the immense privilege to advocate on the state level to bring resources and educational opportunities to Kern County and throughout the state. And I continue this work during my tenure at Adventist Health, where we are committed to increasing immunization records and assessing and addressing social and health determinants. We cannot do this without our partners, including First Five, the county public health, school districts, and so many amazing community partners. In fact, we have been partnered with First Five since 1966, but today we remain the only healthcare system in the area that provides mobile immunization records, clinics, and we administer more than 16,500 vaccinations to children each year under the age of 18. I look forward to continuing this work. I thank you so much for the opportunity. I embrace the challenge, and I can't wait to learn from you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you. Thank you for your willingness to serve.
Couch, I punched in.
Okay, Perez, you go.
Thank you, Chairman. Jeff and I had the privilege of attending the kickoff in front of the Liberty Bell, and I'll tell you, it was really impressive, and it was surprising in ways I just hadn't seen before, frankly, to see you and your peers represented in that capacity was new, and it was very powerful. And it was really inviting and warm, and I was particularly stricken by you, Vivian, your presentation, your style. I can't believe you have 3 kids under 5. That's shocking. You said you're humbled to be appointed. That's humbling, what you're doing, just to realize your limitations in the world with, oh, Lord, that's a lot of work. But, I think what you guys are doing there with that change is just so cool. And it's to see you represented that way was a game changer, I'll be honest. There's something to that sense of unity. You weren't exclusive in any way. You're really a communal, really positive force in this community that is just, I think Supervisor Couch said it perfectly, a rising star, obviously surrounded by, strong people, men who support a strong woman. I think that's remarkable. And I really wish you the best. I'm so impressed with you. Your style and your abilities are clearly, quite prolific. So best of luck to you. If I can be a source in any way, we're here for you. And congratulations. That's impressive.
Thank you. I think that takes us to the end of our morning agenda, so I just need a motion to adjourn to closed session.
So moved.
Without objection, we're adjourned. Thank you.